Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? What we're going to be talking about right now is what people are seeing and experiencing in everyday life when it comes to being of the prepared mind. And I get sent pictures, videos, emails, and links. And if there's anything that you want to send me for a video, my email is in the description box below. So this first email comes in from a community member, and she says, Sambal Olek, and that's Sambal, and then Olek is Oelek, is the best substitute for sriracha because it has a similar taste and a thicker consistency. It's an Indonesian condiment made from fresh ground chili paste. It's a good choice for sauces and marinades or dips. Oh, well, thank you very much. I'll have to look for that because my guys, like my husband, my son, my nephew, they are sriracha fools. Like when I tell you. And with Gavin, he has to have gluten free, especially like they even make gluten free hot sauces. So anything like if this is gluten free, I'll have to look for it. So thank you very much for this information. That's really awesome. So here's an email from a community member, and she said, I see a bunch of cowards that you're showing that don't understand history. They need to go back to school and understand their history, learn it and live it. And men understand why the old fossils are wanting to react to the draft. She is referring to a video that I did the other day about how the younger generations, younger than us, like the 20 somethings, are saying that, that if the draft was reenacted, they're not going to go and blah, 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 and like they're going to be draft dodgers. And, they're saying that they don't want to go into the military and this, that, and the other. And, I understand where she's coming from, but it's kind of like you got to also understand where these guys are coming from too. you know don't forget, no patches, don't forget, my son is he was in the military, Marine Corps, you know what I mean? So, and he's told me a lot of things, and it's kind of like, okay, I understand from both sides of the spectrum, and also my daughter-in-law, her mom is retired Army. She was stationed at Gitmo. I understand. You know what I mean? There's a lot of the stories that she told me. When I tell you, it would be no. Mm-mm. The things that she told me. Okay, she said, in reacting to the draft, it's going to show how many Americans, like American boys, are cowards. Thank you and God bless. Yeah, there's. Have you ever heard of the term soy boy? Okay, these younger generations are soy boys, like when it comes to the guys. They really truly are. They are not like our generation. Okay. They didn't go outside and play like war games and things like that. You know what I mean? Like they spent too much time inside playing video games. Okay. Our video games from the 80s, we grew up with the Atari. You know what I mean? With Frogger. These guys nowadays, they are literally glued to a TV and a console and a they don't know what the real world is. Their only concept of real world simulation going into war is, what's that game that my nephew sometimes plays with the zombies, the not Walking Dead or anything like that. Oh, what the hell is it called? Call of Duty and stuff like that. That's okay. That's what this generation is all about. Not talking about like my son, he's Marines, and stuff like that. Now, if my nephew didn't have brain damage, literally from a car accident, I know for a fact he would be in the military because that's the kind of brutish kind of kid that he is, you know. But that's because of the way that we raised him. You know, we raised our kids differently. We didn't allow screen time. You know, does he do screen time now? Yeah, but that's because of his, and I hate to even talk like this, I really do, his brain capacity. Raising him now as an adult, there are things that I could tell you, but I'm not going to. It's like having a toddler in the house. Yeah. So there's that. Okay, so here's an article that was sent in by a community member, and I will read a little bit of it to you, and then I'll leave the link in the description box below, okay? So there's a nutrition activist group. It's called Center for Science in the Public Interest blasted Dannon yogurt, okay? This week for having food coloring containing bug extracts and urged the company to put berries over bugs. For the love of God, our yogurt's not even safe. Y'all, okay, there is a way to make homemade yogurt. Do you have an Instapot? Okay, get out your Instapot, okay, and start making your own yogurt. Okay, you can get the ingredients very, very cheap because I have all the ingredients, okay. You can get the ingredients very, very cheap, okay. Start making your own yogurts. And it says this is not the first time a food manufacturer has been criticized for using carmine, a red color additive made from crushed bodies of beetles. Are you serious, dude? Starbucks was criticized by vegetarian groups last year after revealing that some of its fruit smoothies contained carmine, quickly decided to remove the additive from its products. Starbucks, seriously? It's flip-flop and disgusting. The link will be in the description box below. Okay, so here's a screenshot that was sent in by a community member, and I'll read it to you first, okay, and then I'll put it up. It says, NWO, the world will move to a biometric ID. Tony Blair, WEF, and former UK PM. Australia are the first nation to submit to digital ID legislation. 2030 agenda means your digital ID will be required to access all of everyday life. Hell no, we won't go. Oh, but wait, there's more. Hang on, because it looks like there's a video attached to it too. It says, on it will contain every detail about you, all in the hands of the state. To listen to Tony Blair frantically trying to prevent those who choose not to get the ticket from being able to travel freely. It made no sense, and we all knew it. Imagine what these lunatics will do. Once this is in place, you may have to have 4 tickets. What about the MPOX one you missed? Do you really want your own individual CO2 score traced or limits meat and alcohol purchased? That's where all of this is heading. It can be described as the technocratic communism. Okay, so I am going to drop this video, so listen.
Than the unvaccinated. So both here at home, if we do have to adjust some of the freedoms because of the rising pressure from new variants, then it's important at least to ensure that those people who are vaccinated have the maximum freedom they can. And I think that could also be done for travel. If you're double vaccinated, it should be much easier to come in and out of the country. And indeed, round the world, I think you will find that countries start to distinguish between the vaccinated and the unvaccinated. So in Europe, for example, they're going to allow you to travel freely within Europe if you're double vaccinated. You get proper proof of vaccination. I mean, actually, the NHS ex-people have done a good job in the NHS app, but we need to make that interoperable with other systems so that you can use this as proof of vaccination. You're facilitating it. So I think that there may well be situations in which people decide they don't want to make that distinction. But I think you're going to find in many settings, people do want to know if they're going into that setting that the people around them, if they're mixing in close quarters,
this whole
have been
argument
vaccinated.
Reminds me of something going back for some years. This is ID cards by the back door, isn't it?
Look, I was then, I remain even more convinced today, particularly with biometric technology, the world will move to biometric ID, and they'll do it because in the end it's better for people. It's not about, look, the amount of information government's going to have on you is going to be minimal compared with what your local supermarket has on you. So this is a completely sensible way to go, and I think you will find right round the world that people move in this direction because it will facilitate the access to government services. And by the way, in some of the developing countries, it will cut out biometric ID. I mean, as you know, my view is the whole world's getting changed by technology. The big political debate we should be having, we're not really having it, is how do you master this technology and harness it for the public good? But in every single field of our work, our leisure, the way we interact with each other, technology is going to change everything. So, you know, biometric ID is just one part of a much, much bigger picture. Face this situation in the future, we're going to have to create a global infrastructure to deal with future pandemics, because I think what has happened to us is probably part of a change that is going to be just normal life for the foreseeable future.
And here's something for you that was sent in by a community member. NWO, written in 1989, the Rockefeller playbook for Mr. 19 and 5G is being played out right now. And this, hang on, there's a lot of wording. So it says first phase. Common cold flu, mild symptoms, most MSM, endorsement of mass paranoia and fear, blah, blah, blah. We all knew that, right? Second phase. First phase will lead to compromise and frail immune system through lack of food, social distancing, wearing of mask, and lack of contact with sunlight and health exposure to 5G radiation. Third phase. If majority of people resist the ticket, and it says, it's hard to see it, then another V will be released. It will be anarchy from all sides. There's a fucking surprise. And here's something from a community member. She said, hey, I know it's late, but the LDS Cannery has a new product, freeze-dried strawberries, high in vitamin C and delish, compared to Amazon. Okay, see, Amazon is for the August and Farms, it's $23.38 for a number 10 can. And LDS is case of 6 number 10 cans, $87. Wow, much, much cheaper. And before I go, here's an email from a community member. She said, you wanted to know how a couple billion people are going to go away. Oh my. Okay, she said, I would say due to no births, like the movie Children of Men, or the John Cusack movie playing Billy Boy, Utopia 2020. Ah, yes, yes. She said, it's also funny how leaders in Africa who would not allow the ticket were done away with, you know what I'm saying? And now comes the Prime Minister of Slovakia, who won't do what the PTB say. Some think it was a message to all others, maybe, maybe not. Sorry if I'm repeating your words back to you. No, it's fine. I don't care. But I read a lot. A couple of years ago, I saw a chart of general affinity and speed if the spike protein for attacking various organs. Reproductive organs of both genders are astoundingly high. And clearly there are several lots. Some causing turbo, others containing crate, snake, and king cobra toxins. Whoa. This one seems to be associated with long Rona. Dr. Brian Ardis said he found the 2 snake venom sequences attack a receptor called alpha 5 ACH. I'm too lazy to spell lazy. Nicotine patches of 7mg have 30 times the affinity for this receptor as a snake toxin. and he is helping people. I would say the people who got the sterilization tickets were the lucky ones, if that exists. Edward Dowd is a statistician, blah, 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 doctor who works for the life insurance companies, and they are going broke paying out claims for the ticketed people. He said this is why our premiums are going through the roof. So to sum it up, death spikes expected either now, 5 years, 3 years to 5 years from now, depending on the source. If they take us to war over Europe's laundromat, both would be just in time for the Deagle report, and to that, aging baby boomers, not a nice subject for me. My sister's husband has what I would call the turbo. Her daughter and son work for hospitals and both took the ticket. Anyways, something to worry about. Good luck. Thanks. Something to actually think about, too. Ma. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I will see you in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fear less.